All right, y'all. I am so proud to introduce my friend Tony Aguilar. He will be introducing Roman here shortly. Tony and I met back in 2014 in Leadership Austin. I think we have another Leadership Austin BCE 2014 alum in the house. Anyway, so Tony, he is a first-gen high school graduate who grew up in a small West Texas town. He knew that he had to finance every penny out of his out-of-state college tuition. But what he didn't know when he walked into the financial aid office to sign his name on the dotted line was that he would carry more than $100,000 in student loan debt off the graduation stage. I'm sure many of you have also been there. Anyway, this has led Tony into a decade-long career in financial services where he has worked as a financial advisor. He has also founded both Amity Advising, Campus Slice, Student Loan Genius, and more recently, Chipper. He has been featured in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Fortune, Money Magazine, on CNN, and he, I think last year, hung out with President Obama 2 years ago at the White House. So give it up for Tony. Woo!
Packed house. I love it. I love it. So I'm so excited today to introduce Gardenio, but more importantly, I'm really excited to introduce my dear friend, Roman. So I've been privileged to get to know Roman over the last 4 or 5 years. I liked him so much that I tried to hire him at Student Loan Genius, but we ran out of money, so so I couldn't. And I tried to do it again. So he, as a marketer, then as a designer, and then we were having a hard time raising money again. So, no, but I'm glad that didn't work out because I don't think we'd be standing here today and about to see him pitch. It's been amazing to just see him develop over his career. And when he pinged me about 8-9 months ago of this crazy idea he had to help people start gardening faster, I was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have one of these conversations. But when he pitched me, I was like, oh my gosh, like last week I had this exact conversation, that your solution would solve for me and my fiance about like starting our own garden. And it's been incredible over the last 8 months to just see him iterate on his idea, come up with concepts, and today he'll tell you that they're live today, so you can actually pre-order the product. So a ton of development over a short period of time. But with all that said, let's welcome Roman.
Love that song. Am I mic? You guys can hear me okay? Yes. Cool. They told me not to walk. Do you mind if I walk? Yes. Okay, good. Great start. So chances are, you've entertained the notion of growing your own food before. You may be going outside and grabbing a sprig of rosemary from a bush, a persimmon from a tree, a tomato from the vine. This inclination for us is very human. It's very deep within our bones, and it's part of a larger cultural movement toward growing your own food. But if you wanted to start growing your own food, it's something that's weirdly difficult for having done it for 20,000 years. You have to actually go into a nursery store where you're bombarded with choices without context. And then if you do manage to get a few seconds with somebody, you take your notes, you spend your money, you go home, and then what? If you're like me, about a month later, you failed and you don't even know why. The information's out there, it's just tribal, it's fragmented, and it's inconsistent. You're looking at a 2003 Yahoo Answers article and you're like, is this for me? But the fact is most gardens never start because it's just so overwhelming and so difficult. The ones that do start struggle, and those folks just fall out of the market. So we believe we can do better, and that it matters for the earth, and that we can do good business at the same time. So we developed Gardenio. With Gardenio, we are the path for the next generation of lifelong gardeners. We provide products and technology that make it simple to start, maintain, and continue with your garden so you can actually succeed. Well, how do you do that? Make starting simple. So the first thing we do is we take everything you need and send it to you in a box. We send you 3 plants, soil, and 3 plants of your choice that are right for your season and for your location that are designed to work. We'll even send you care guides so that you know how to grow them. We partner with local farms to do this, and to every month send you organic plant fertilizer so your plants can be healthy and they can thrive and be successful. But it doesn't stop there, right? Setting a boat to sea is not enough all on its own. So in the future, we plan to develop a mobile application that gives you detailed care guides so you can identify and address issues in the garden and be connected to a community of folks like you gardening in your area on and offline. And so this is big. This kind of a thing doesn't exist so far. So we're also a community that cares about things, something more than ourselves. That's why we believe in organic products, sustainable practices, and social impact. A percentage of our profits goes to a nonprofit in the area in which we operate that focuses on issues of food justice, so that as we succeed, so do the communities that we operate in. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a market ripe for disruption. This is an old, antiquated Stone Age market. $36.1 billion spent in lawn and garden every year. $401 per household spent on lawn and garden, and 74% of households participating in this industry. $3.6 billion are spent in DIY edible gardening alone. It is the largest segment, it is the fastest growing segment, and is expected to continue growing. There's a lot of money in this market, we're just trying to make it easier to spend. But where do you start? So we go where the action is. So the story all over the headlines in this entire industry is that 5 million of the 6 million new gardeners, 80%, are between the ages of 18 and 34. It's crazy. They also spend more than all of their other counterparts. And they're spending the most on food gardening. This trend is expected to continue again and again, year over year. In an age where millennials are killing every industry, we're saving the gardening industry. But no one knows what to do about it. These old companies, they don't know what to do. They're not mobilizing. They haven't for 5 years. They know they're having their problems. We do. Do you have any water over there? That's Topo Chico. That's a great company. So how do we make money? We do it through our starter boxes, right? So we buy wholesale. We send these boxes to folks. On top of the retail margins, we charge for curation and delivery. The boxes range from $50 to $100. Then we have our supplies subscriptions. Again, this is $15 a month that we send organic fertilizer. You need that when you're growing in containers. We can geek out about that later. And then, this is the big one. Over time, we want to be able to develop our mobile application so that we can support a marketplace, so that our customers can buy supplies at any moment while they're out there in the garden as they need it. We'll even be able to send them smart offers based on when they're growing, what they're growing, and based on a lot of other contextual factors, including weather. We just had a freeze. If you didn't take your plants inside, you're in trouble. We could have solved that. But how do we win, right? So Home Depot and Lowe's are the big players in this market. Oh no, it's happening. I don't need it. Home Depot and Lowe's are the large players in this industry. Over 60% of purchases go to mass retailers in this industry, and small farms are struggling. And so is the projector. But the fact is these large companies, they're slow, they're unfocused, and they can't reach young people. They just don't know how. But we do. So we're going to meet them with a wonderful plane. We're going to beat them with a brand experience that speaks to our generation, actually stands for something, and puts gardeners first, not just something else in your catalog of things you do. Secondly, we're going to beat them through technology that scales convenience and automates expertise, eliminating the need to go into the nursery at all. And third, we're going to beat them with a supply chain, a national supply chain of local small farms across the country that produce organic seedlings. This isn't done right now. It's difficult to do. We can do it. And we've already started that. So then there's other folks in the space, startups in the space that believe that by making smarter, more connected hardware that is prohibitively expensive, that they're going to solve the problem. We think it just misses the point. Especially our generation, we don't just want things handed to us. Like in the same way we interact with Blue Apron, Plated, companies like this, we want an active participation in the activity itself, the way we've been doing it for thousands of years. And if you don't know gardeners, then you don't know that they're very skeptical people, particularly of technology. So we're being very deliberate about supporting the way we've been doing it before and not reinventing the wheel with new prohibitively expensive hardware. Now I need the slide. What's the competition? You know what's over there? Okay, I don't know. What's it? Okay, competition. What else do you want to know? What else do you want to? Thank you. So my name's Gonzalez. I'm the first in my family timeline to graduate from an Ivy League institution. Yeah. I've spent the last 10 years working in multi-channel marketing as well as human-centered product design. I know how to build products. I've led marketing for a company acquired by Salesforce, and I've also organized communities for President Barack Obama in 2012 in Ohio. I'm not going to broach that subject. But I'm advised by a fantastic team. Sam Slaughter of Gabriel Valley Farms, the largest producer of organic seedlings in Central Texas. Our advisor, happy to have him. We also have a senior community manager from Yelp who've established this community-based model nationally very, very well. A former product designer from Airbnb, as well as a strong technical team from Booster Stage Technologies. In just the last 3 months, we've been able to iterate toward our starter box prototype, which you can see outside. We've been able to iterate toward that and lock in an awesome supply chain with local and national partners. We have a wait list of 150 people who want to see our first release. That's why this morning, panic, the new GrowGardenio.com was released, where you can pre-order our Urban Gardener Starter Kit for a February release. So we're very excited about that. The goal is to sell 200 of those boxes by February, giving us our first 10K in revenue. We want to learn from that and make our next 30K in revenue by the middle of next year. So we're also very excited about that. Now, after that, we're going to look for funding to give us the resources to be able to develop our mobile application to unlock a new revenue stream, the marketplace. But how do we do that? We need to build the team. So we're looking for somebody who's an expert in operations and perishable supply chain management to not only run our model, but scale it to make sure it's effective. We're looking for introductions to those kinds of folks. We're also looking for somebody to own the technical stack of making gardening accessible to everyone. And lastly, if you're an investor and you like kale smoothies, let's have a conversation. But we're not done. But this is the moment, folks. This is the right time for a company like this. The moment is hot. We have an opportunity in business to do something that is very rare. To do well and to do good at the same time. To build a profit and lead a movement at the same time. We are the path for the next generation of lifelong gardeners. Because with Gardenio, you don't have to grow it alone. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Give it up for Roman. Woo-woo. All right. I hear everyone getting pretty excited, but as you know, our mics are kind of weak, so if we could just quiet down a little bit, please.